Amazing. There's some fish that's being prepared over there and sausages being fried at the harbour. I need to ask the chef why we're having sausages when there's such incredible fish around here. But anyway, that's, I suppose, not the point right now. South Africa really is ideally positioned to serve the east-west cargo traffic and the booming African offshore oil and gas industry through maritime or marine manufacturing, which includes ships, rig repair, refurbishment and boat building, which you just saw a little bit earlier here on the program. Government incentives have unlocked 353 million rand for boat building infrastructure in the ports of Durban and in Cape Town for the next 3 years. So let's talk a little bit more about maritime transport and manufacturing. We've got our Minister of Public Enterprises with us, Lynne Brown, to discuss this and a lot more. Good to have you, Minister. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much, and good morning. Good morning to the viewers.
Indeed. So just to have a look where we're at, government has already issued 14 licenses for oil and gas exploration along the South African coastline. What is the criteria when issuing these licenses?
Well, I mean, TNPA, it really sits in the Department of Transport. Okay. But the criteria is that they are able to do the job. And that's in essence. So we've actually issued TNPA, which is a subsidiary of Transnet, has actually issued a preferred bidder already for these licenses. And what, in essence, it's supposed to do is to create better access to the ports and to ensure that our ports become the hubs that we want to create. You know, the east-west, from Saldanha right up to the west, yes, is actually the most important oil and gas areas. And that's what we're trying to unlock there. So government has spent, has allocated about 2.7 billion rand and has spent about 450 million rand just to upgrade all of these hubs, whether it is at the jetties, whether it's the quays, whether it is boat rigging, boat building, or oil rigging. They've created all of that kind of infrastructure, so it gives us an opportunity to set the scene for private sector investment as well.
In terms of investment, because obviously this is the private sector must have gotten involved as well in this, but in terms of investment with Operation Phakisa, how is that going?
It's actually, it's slow because at the moment we have the economic slowdown in the country and in the world, and the price of oil has actually created some kind of a slower pace that we have gone. But about 12 projects have been concluded already. 400 million rand has been spent on it already. And so, for example, just this harbour, the outer caisson has been fixed and built. I can say that this dry dock has also been repaired. The same applies to East London. The jetty has been built already. In Saldanha, in the Cape Town port, the dry dock in Cape Town has also been fixed already. So now we need to move into the big projects. Yeah. And the big projects about 7.9 billion rand. And that does unlock the opportunity for private sector involvement. And we can't do this. TNPA is just a state-owned company that has to unlock the potential for inviting investment into our harbours. Our harbours should become really efficient after this.
Absolutely, and that's the investment that we're talking about. Minister, you mentioned state-owned enterprises. I want to talk to you about Escom, please. Last night, bombshell coming out of Escom, talking about they want to repay all this money repaid to them from Trillion, 1 billion, McKinsey, 564 million. What is going on?
Well, I also just saw it in the media last night, and I had the board with me yesterday. I've asked the board last night already to give me an update on what they're doing. You see, I don't think you can take a shortcut on any of these things. If people must pay back the money, then they must pay back. But who actually asked them? Who actually paid them? Who actually authorized those payments? Why was it authorized? If it was wrong, is there any activity that happened around it? So 2 days before that, I was in the portfolio committee where I said that I'm doing a deep dive into all of it with the SIU, and that the SIU has given me a confirmation that they will ensure that the McKinsey Trillion matter is the first thing that they deal with. So I was also quite stunned to see it in the media.
A lot of people say that you really are being too soft on Escom and that you should deal with them harder. There should be criminal charges investigated. This is initiated. This is a lot of money we're talking about, Minister.
This is a lot of money. You're absolutely right. The issue is state-owned companies are appointed. I am the shareholder representative. I have oversight into the state-owned companies. So what I do is I set up a shareholder compact that they've got to work towards. The kind of things that happen in between, like this kind of action, is something that gets sprung on us. So one of the things that I have done to try and fix a whole range of issues in Escom, and it's to do with procurement and contract management, is to have this deep dive investigation so that it throws up everything of what is happening in Eskom. It's a huge organization, but between Eskom and Transnet, it's the backbone of our economy.
You said it, and yet the backbone of our economy is falling apart. When are we going to see this board implemented? When is the new board going to go into effect?
It's implemented in November. Remember that I have an interim board at the moment, and the interim board, I have 4 new members on, and it goes to cabinet. So by November. I don't want to say the end of November, because I actually think it will be at the beginning of November, because it goes through a process of economic cluster and then it goes to the cabinet. So by then we would have the new board. And the new board's first instruction is to appoint a CE.
Just finally, we're still also waiting for the President to approve the probe into Eskom. I mean, surely what was announced last night is going to fast-track this. This probe needs to happen as a matter of urgency now.
I agree. Today it will be the 10th time that I say that we must have a commission of inquiry, because the commission of inquiry must throw up all the issues. Investigation as to look at the systemic problems that we have in the company, because clearly these kinds of issues of procurement, project management has been what's we're still keeping the lights on, we're doing all of that, but to ensure the stability of a company is actually really important. And this is a basic service that we provide to our people.
And yet we're seeing tariff increases all the time to keep those lights on.
Yes, absolutely.
Minister, I have to leave it there. It's news time. Thank you for talking to us. Enjoy the day today. Minister Lynne Brown talking to us about a lot of issues, state-owned enterprises, of course, falling under her domain. And this is Operation Phakisa. We'll continue to broadcast here. It's already 7 o'clock. Let's find out our top news story.